We need to mentally postulate about one of the most persistent, most annoying, most conspiracy-ridden narratives that the left just refuses to let die. The idea that Bernie Sanders got robbed in the primaries.
Just as a quick thing, the Bernie Sanders talking point is threefold. One legitimate claim, two claims. One legitimate claim that was bad was Donna Brazile. Before one of the debates, I think she was an employee. Was she an employee for CNN? Or did she just have these questions? Or no, it wasn't a debate. It might have been a town hall. She leaked questions in advance to Hillary Clinton's campaign. This was bad. Shouldn't have done it. Okay, she was a contributor to CNN. That might have been how she got the questions then. She says here, your job was to make all our Democratic candidates look good, and I worked closely with both campaigns to make that happen. I don't believe she passed any questions off to Bernie's campaign, though. But she passed questions, at least one off. Was it about the death penalty? To at least one off to the Hillary Clinton camp for town hall. Not good. Not good. Not good. Shouldn't have done this. Was really bad. Favored one side. Legitimately not a good thing. This is one thing. Anybody asking about Vim getting unbanned is also getting a 1 month ban. No, that's not happening. I don't even know why you would ask. Having somebody who lives in a country and saying that they should get right incoming invading army is probably a one-way ticket to getting a huge ban. I don't know why you would even ask for. I don't know why you would even ask that. Was already unbanned? By who? Okay, that's all right. So this is the one prong. Second prong is that super delegates stole the election from Bernie. That's not true. The way that super delegates work, people can argue whether they like them or not, but the super delegates didn't make a difference in terms of the outcome of that primary. And it wasn't really relevant anyway. And then the third way is the media coverage of Bernie. People always complain about media coverage when they're unhappy, so that's a problem as well. Ultimately, this Donna thing was not the make or break for Bernie's campaign. Bernie was just never winning that primary. He just doesn't have the popularity with black voters, which is really important with a Democratic primary. Same thing with the second one he ran it. Like, it's just, yeah, he was never winning anyway. But anyway, people will bring up this, like, it was stolen from Bernie. That's just not true. Progressives like to spread that myth because progressives like their candidate. And then conservatives like to spread that myth to undermine the Democratic Party. Asmongold's online coverage and messaging has been like a full court, like Trump propaganda press. So Asmon will always repeat the conservative propaganda line. So that's what he's doing here when he's repeating the lie about having the election stolen from Bernie Sanders here.
Like Elon Musk have as much political power as they do. I think it's very bad. But the reason why I think that a lot of people aren't going to be as sympathetic is because there have always been people like that, like Bill Gates, or you could look at like George Soros or something like that. I think George Soros is a bit overblown. But, you know, as another example, you have Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, we all heard it before, over and over again. Like a bad mixtape that won't stop playing. The DNC rigged it. The media sabotaged him. The establishment stole it. Let's be clear, this ain't it, Chief. The math wasn't mathin' from the jump, and people out here still trying to act like the game got fixed when their favorite player just wasn't built to win. But since some folks just refuse to take the L gracefully, let's break this down and put this nonsense to bed once and for all. First thing first, let's talk about Donna Brazile. Yes, she leaked a question to Hillary Clinton's campaign before a CNN town hall. Yes, that was shady. Yes, that was a bad look for the Democratic Party. But let's keep it a stack. Was this the reason Bernie lost? No. If one leaked question was enough to stop the Bernie bros' so-called revolution, then y'all weren't built for this political game in the first place. One question didn't decide the entire primary. One debate question wasn't the reason Bernie couldn't win over key Democratic voters. This was a bad move, but it wasn't the make-or-break moment that these leftist conspiracy theorists want it to be. Now let's talk about superdelegates. This is one of those talking points that gets regurgitated over and over again with zero regard for reality. The argument is that the Democratic Party elite swooped in and rigged the primary against Bernie by stacking the deck with superdelegates. Sounds spicy, right? Too bad it's completely false. The superdelegates didn't swing the outcome of the primary. Period. If Bernie had actually won the necessary delegates from voters, the superdelegates wouldn't have been able to do a damn thing. But he didn't. He lost fair and square. Superdelegates didn't steal anything. Bernie just didn't have the numbers. And instead of accepting that, his supporters chose to spin this wild conspiracy that somehow, somewhere, the entire Democratic establishment got together in a secret lair and decided to block him from winning. Like, fam, sometimes the voters just ain't rocking with your guy like that. It happens. Oh, and here's another classic. The media treated Bernie unfairly. First of all, everybody thinks the media is out to get them when they lose. That's just politics. But let's get real. Bernie got plenty of coverage. The problem is, just because the media talks about you doesn't mean they're gonna shower you with praise 24/7. Y'all think CNN and MSNBC should have been acting like Bernie was the second coming? That's not how this works. Media outlets cover what's happening, and when Bernie wasn't winning key voter blocks, that's what they reported. It ain't a conspiracy, it's just a game. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Bernie Sanders had a serious problem winning over black voters. That right there was the real reason he lost. The Democratic primary is won and lost on the strength of black voters, particularly in the South, and Bernie just never figured out how to connect with them. That ain't on the media. That ain't on the DNC. That's on him and his campaign. So why does this whole Bernie was robbed narrative still have legs after all this time? Simple. People don't want to face reality. Progressives push this myth because it's easier than admitting their candidate wasn't strong enough. Conservatives push it because it helps them undermine faith in the Democratic Party. It's a win-win for both sides, and the truth gets buried under all the noise. But if we ever want to get serious about progressive politics in America, we got to stop living in fantasy land. The Democrats didn't steal the election from Bernie. The system wasn't rigged. He just didn't win. And until folks accept that, they'll be stuck repeating the same mistakes over and over again. At the end of the day, if progressives want a real shot at winning, they got to stop crying about 2016 and 2020 and start focusing on building a coalition that actually wins elections. That means figuring out how to appeal to a broader audience, not just Twitter leftists and college activists. Y'all want change. Organize, strategize, and actually do the work. Otherwise, y'all gonna be stuck blaming the DNC for the next 20 years, while the real players keep running the game.